Para sa lesson number 11 ng real analysis, let's define the Lebesgue measurable set and Lebesgue measure of this set. Our definition, let's say we have a set E. Set E, subset of Rn. Let's say this is Lebesgue measurable. So a set E is Lebesgue measurable. Lebesgue measurable. Take note of this word. If for any positive epsilon, there is an open set. An open set G, so that number 1, E is a subset of G. So yeah, that is the first condition. So dapat yung given set natin is subset ng open set G. And number 2, we should have the Lebesgue outer measure of G minus E is less than epsilon. Okay. So simple lang, no? So dapat sa given set natin, kaya nating mag-produce ng open set na mas malaki, pwedeng mas malaki ng konti kay E or almost similar. So since this is subset, pwede silang equal or mas malaki ng konti si G. Okay? Where yung outer measure dapat ng difference nila is as small as possible. So dito, Lebesgue measurable ang isang set kapag kaya nating makapag-produce ng open set na almost the same outer measure kay E. Okay, so in this case, if M of E is the Lebesgue measure of E, then the Lebesgue measure of E is equal to the Lebesgue outer measure of E. So kapag ang isang set ay Lebesgue measurable, then ang Lebesgue measure niya is the same as the Lebesgue outer measure. Okay, so na-discuss na natin how to compute or how to find the Lebesgue outer measure of the given set. Okay, so kung kukunin natin ang Lebesgue measure ng isang Lebesgue measurable set, kahit kunin lang natin yung Lebesgue outer measure, so that's it. Okay, yan na yung Lebesgue measure. Okay, so let's proceed to example. Okay, so for our example, so let's show that E equals, let's say, let's have the singleton. Okay, so E is the set containing 3. So let's prove that this is Lebesgue measurable. It's Lebesgue measurable. So paano natin ipo-prove na Lebesgue measurable ang isang set? Okay, first dapat kaya nating mag-produce ng open set G, na yung open set G dapat nasa loob niya yung given set natin. And pangalawa, kailangan mapalabas natin tong second condition na yung Lebesgue outer measure ng difference nila must be smaller than arbitrary epsilon. Okay? take note that G minus E, ang ibig sabihin niyan, meron si G na wala kay E. Kung ito si E, if this is E, our G is this. Okay? So, ito yung unang condition. Dapat nasa loob ni G si E. And then, when we say G minus E, ito yung nasa labas ni E, pero nasa loob ni G. Okay? Ang sabi daw, dapat itong nasa labas na to ni E at nasa loob ni G, dapat yung Lebesgue outer measure niya is smaller than this epsilon. Okay? So now, let's have a proof. So magbigay muna tayo ng epsilon. So given positive epsilon. So dito, ang isa sa mga task na dapat natin gawin, yung mag-iisip tayo ng open set. Okay? Dapat yung open set, laman niya si E. Laman niya yung 3. Okay? So para mas madali, ang kunin natin yung neighborhood niya. Okay? So let's say our G is equal to 3 minus epsilon over 3, 3 plus epsilon over 3. Okay? So pakita natin. Ito si G. Ito yung E natin. 3. Yan lang yung laman ni E. Tapos ang G natin, yung neighborhood. Okay? So this is 3 minus epsilon over 3 and then 3 plus epsilon over 3. As you can see, kino-contain niya yung set E natin. Okay? Now, ang pangalawang dapat nating magawa, pakita natin yung second condition. The outer measure of G minus E must be less than epsilon. Okay? So, dun tayo sa kabilang page. Then, outer measure of G minus E. So, this is equal to outer measure of what is G. Ang G natin kanina ay yung 3 minus epsilon over 3, 3 plus epsilon over 3. Okay, so pinalitan lang natin yung G minus, ano yung E natin? Set containing 3. So, yan yung E natin. Okay. So, ngayon, i-simplify natin tong set. So, anong ibig sabihin na open interval na to minus set containing 3? So, ibig sabihin lang yan, tatanggalin lang natin yung 3 dito sa sa ating open interval. So, yung mga laman ng pangalawang set, ayun yung tatanggalin natin sa unang set. Yung matira, ayun na yung difference nila. Okay? So, meaning this is now equal to outer measure of, this will be 3 minus epsilon over 3, 3. And then we have an open interval. Ipag-union na lang natin 3, 3 plus epsilon over 3. Kasi ang goal natin dapat ang matanggal lang yung 3. Okay? So meaning, pinaghiwalay natin yung interval. Okay? Parang ganito. So eto siya. Eto yung 3. So pinaghiwalay natin. Ito yung 3 minus epsilon over 3, 3. And then, 3 plus epsilon over 3. Okay? So, gumawa tayo ng dalawang open intervals para hindi maisama yung 3. Tatanggal. Pero, pinag-union natin sila. Okay? So, para ang natanggal lang, yung 3 lang talaga. Okay? Now, take note that this union hindi nakasama si 3, hindi kasama yung dalawang dulo, yung 3 minus epsilon over 3 tsaka 3 plus epsilon over 3, hindi sila kasama. So meaning, this is now less than or equal to the outer measure ng closed interval 3 minus epsilon over 3, 3 plus epsilon over 3. Okay? So, yung outer measure nito is less than or equal dito. Okay? If we use the proposition number 1. So, by proposition 1. So, you can check proposition 1 sa previous video natin, analysis. So, in preposition 1, ang sabi doon, kapag yung set A ay subset ng set B, ibig sabihin daw, yung outer measure ng A ay less than or equal sa outer measure ng B. Okay? So, yun yung in-apply natin dito. So, since this set is a subset of this set, closed interval, then the outer measure of this set, yun, is less than or equal to the outer measure of this closed interval. Okay? Now, outer measure of closed interval using proposition number 3, that is also the volume. So this is now the volume of 3 minus epsilon over 3, 3 plus epsilon over 3. Okay? By proposition 3. Kung matatandaan nyo sa proposition 3, ang sabi, yung outer measure of A, that is equal to, not A. Outer measure of the interval, closed interval I. So outer measure of the closed interval I is equal to the volume of I. Okay? So meaning, so dito, kukunin natin yung outer measure ng closed interval na to, that is just equal to the volume, this closed interval. And by definition of the volume of the closed interval, so this is now 3 plus epsilon over 3 minus 3 minus epsilon over 3. Okay? So this is 3 plus epsilon over 3 minus 3 plus epsilon over 3. So maka-cancel yung 3. Ang matitira ay dalawang epsilon over 3 or simply 2/3 ng epsilon. Okay? And 2/3 ng epsilon, that is less than epsilon. 1 epsilon. Okay? Or simply epsilon. So as you can see, so from here, outer measure of G minus E, this is less than epsilon. So napakita natin yung outer measure ng G minus E is less than epsilon. So therefore, the set E, which is the set containing 3, is Lebesgue measurable.